So, I made a Library of Ruina mod, and for a while, I was streaming it, every once in a while, making that just the coding part. I don't think I actually showed off very many fights of it. So today I'm going to be playing through it. I still have the, console mod installed because I'm going to need to skip vanilla fights so that we can actually progress the story, because unfortunately you're required to do the vanilla fights to get the abnormalities still, because it's hard to implement getting the new abnormality requirements. So the way that this is supposed to be played, the way I've intended it for it to be made, was you play through without using anything vanilla except for the stuff I give you, which is like it's like 3 combat pages in Canard that are vanilla that you can actually get in the mod. But unfortunately, you do need to play through vanilla alongside it. Thank you, Soto, for the follow. You do need to play through vanilla alongside it. I'll just be skipping those fights because they're not really that necessary. Okay, so the first reception we have to deal is the Bruised Peaches. And actually, you do require a rat's book to do this, because I needed something other than the book of something as well. So you're intended to do this with the default stuff. There's no cutscenes or anything yet. Thank you, game, for telling me how to determine speed. So this is the first actual fight. People have told me that the mod is harder than vanilla, but that's probably just due to the fact that you're not using the vanilla stuff. So these guys are basically just the rats, obviously. They're a little bit stronger, because they can be. Like, this game doesn't need them to be weaker, but they are anyways. So they've got a 1-4, they've got a 1-3 with a 1-4, they've got a 2-4 with a 1-2. These are not the actual combat pages you'll get, by the way. This page is fun. Gain 1 endurance and feeble next scene. This is actually a decent enough page. Hey, Piff. The one you get is better, don't worry. And then a 1-4, 1-4, 1-3. I deliberately had to make these rolls smaller because people were telling me that this fight took them like 40 attempts with them using the actual pages. So I had to change them slightly. Only Marco has the purple, so it's good to kill him first. Looks easy. It was harder because Shocking Clip rolls like a 3-6, 3-4 for yours, and so Focus Strikes just loses to it. In this case, Focus Strikes will not lose to it. But yeah, these guys are not that big of a deal. They're pretty easy. They're supposed to be. I'm just not going to let him use Shocking Clip because it's a pointless thing to allow. Will you eventually change the appearances as well? Well, there's a lot of stuff that I would have to make to do that, but I'm hoping to eventually, yeah. And now I actually have to finish killing him because I roll a 1. That's very unfortunate, because it means I'm getting hit by all of this. So yeah, you can definitely lose this fight. It's not likely, but you can. Am I getting staggered before I can do anything? If she rolls a 4, yes. So I should probably attack her. Even though Marco can use his thing now. There are appearances on some of them. They are workshop appearances, but yeah. This is a Shocking Clip, yep. This is why I had to nerf this fight, is because of this page, mostly. Because it does a lot of damage. Do I have anything that beats that guaranteed? Not really. I basically just have to use Charge and Cover and hope to outroll him. Because he is Fatal to Pierce, so like, it should work. Yeah, we're good. And I'm going to try to use only pages that come with the mod, obviously. And that's not going to be that difficult, because there's a lot of them. Is the mod available anywhere? Yes, on my Discord server. And the reason it's not available anywhere else is because it's technically still unfinished. Okay. Well, that works. thick skin, huh? That's gonna be a 3 to 5. That's not that big of a deal. I'll just light defense it. Because I know I'm gonna lose that first clash anyways. Yeah, startup is near the end of the receptions for workshop port. So that'll be fun. And that's the end of the first fight. These guys aren't hard. Like I said, they're not supposed to be. It's the first fight in the mod. We have Blacklight Office Part 1. It's kind of exactly the same as vanilla... What's it called office? I'm surprised I don't remember. Yun's office, that's what it is. And you still don't have a second person for this. These guys have Blacklight Strike, which is a 50% chance to deal 1 stagger damage, and they actually only use vanilla pages. Because I didn't really see a reason to make new pages for these guys, since they're not really that interesting. Oh yeah, and there might be bugs as well, because obviously it's not perfect. It was never going to be perfect. 0 out of 10, not a gamer. Wow, rude. But yeah, I had a really fun time, like, balancing all of this and watching Scorp play it on his stream, because he played it a lot while I was making it. Let me just kill that guy, hopefully. That way I don't need to deal with him anymore, then, yeah, they're good. But yeah, at this point in the game, basically every key page you get is going to be better than what you already have as well. Just because that's how the progression in this game normally works. Why have I not won a clash with that yet? This is rude. I'm probably getting staggered here. Yep. At least use preemptive strike. Come on, me. Can I please win? Use false start, because I think it's definitely more likely to win against that. There we go. But yeah, I wanted to have some creativity over what I gave the enemies, and what you can actually get. In the early game, not much you can do, because it's just whoever rolls the highest is the winner. Since this Abnormality fight hasn't been changed, I'm just gonna skip Bloodbath, because it's no different than in vanilla. And if it's no different in vanilla, I don't have a reason to show it, really. But that does unlock our first Abnormality pages. And so Roland's floor is going to be actually decent now. So the first Abnormality in the mod is the Mirror of Adjustment. I changed all of the... only Malkuth's Abnos have fights, but all the Abno pages are changed, so I want to be able to show them. They don't have flavor text yet, but that's fine. So, this is Mirror of Adjustment, which is... Keter is just kind of a general purpose floor usually, so... First one, Distortion. Its single ally, at the start of odd scenes, gain 1 strength and fragile for every 2 emotion levels, and at the start of even scenes, gain 1 endurance and bind for every 2 emotion levels. This obviously doesn't do much right now. Yeah, there's a lot of words, but I mean, people playing the mod will have played vanilla, so it's not a big deal. Reflection is 2 allies, which is something that only happens in the mod. I don't think there's anything that lists that in vanilla. Upon selecting the page, the character gains mirror status, and the other ally with the highest HP gains reflected, and they switch every scene. When gaining positive status through combat pages, give the same status effect to the reflected ally. You're gonna do the ones that are supposed to be in the game but got cut out? For the first 4 floors, yes, that's mostly what we did. For the other ones, we had to get more creative with it. And then Assimilation, which is not actually even possible to get until you beat Roland's second Abno. Upon selecting this page and at the start of subsequent acts, add a copy of Mirror to the hand, which is a 2-cost single use, and at the start of Clash, it adds a copy of the opponent's page to the hand, and does the same thing as Learning. But yeah, Reflection is just Hana for all, but you don't need the passive. Yeah, it's Hana for all, but it's not random, is the big thing. So next we have the second part to Blacklight Office. The first act is exactly the same, so I'm not even going to bother talking about it. Oh, your hand is bad. Who would have guessed? And they're both targeting him, too. Well, this is awkward. This is very awkward. Okay. Let's just target one of them down. It doesn't really matter. Ooh, nice. These are really future-proof. I try to make as much stuff as useful as possible as I could. Because obviously useful stuff is better than not useful stuff. Hey, I finally got the paralysis off of that, and it doesn't make any difference. But yeah, they're supposed to be future-proof. Also, this doesn't do anything for me because I don't have Jolted Awake at all. They even have icons for them because Startup was nice and made some icons for them. I don't know if they're taken from anywhere. I know there's a couple icons taken from card game that people like to play a lot. I can't remember what it's called. Library of Ruina 2. Also, good morning, Detective. I see you there. Slay the Spire. That's what it is, yeah. So on the second act, we have Howl and Ruth, who actually have combat pages that are new, and new passives as well. First off, Cover Me. On winning a clash using block dice, gain 1 protection next scene at a 25% chance. Not great, but obviously they're going to have block dice, so it's okay. And then Howl is Finishing Strike, which, if the last die on a combat page is offensive, it deals +1 damage. Passives just kind of exist for now. They don't do super big things. And also, I just realized that the only page he has where this activates is Dodge and Strike. Because for some reason I thought that was an okay thing to do. But they have new combat pages. They have Foreboding Crack, which is a 3/6/19 that inflicts Fragile on hit, which is actually a scary amount of damage. And Ultraviolet Sweep, which is deal +1 stagger damage with all offensive dice this scene. The wording is not completely consistent with vanilla. That's getting changed in the port. Ultraviolet Sweep is a really powerful page. It's probably the strongest page you get in Canard for the mod, in fact. Then Ruth has Shadow Step, which is on Clash Win, once per card increase the max value of the next die by 2. Which makes it a 2/5, which doesn't guarantee a coin, but that's okay. And Infrared Wave, which is a 3/4/3/4/3/5, and the offensive die has on hit inflict 1 bleed. So this is actually 2 guaranteed emotion coins, which is really solid. But yeah, these are our named folks for the first office. And this will unlock Malkuth for the mod. I like it swapped the status effects. They are supposed to swap every other scene, so that's fine. Ooh, that's gonna hurt. You can just kind of spam your best attacks against them. They like using their big attacks as well. Okay. Cool. That works. Ruth just got absolutely bodied. And that's okay by me. 3 max rolls. Yeah, Roland's a boss, dude. Oh, this is gonna hurt. That's okay. Never mind, it didn't. That's illegal. It's not illegal. It's possible. And this doesn't... Oh yeah, it does do stuff because I'm at emotion level 2, so... That's 1 strength. And... Oh, it gave me the fragile. Okay. I thought I got hit by his attack. Oh, it's gonna stagger me. Most definitely going to stagger me. I don't really have a problem with that because, you know. Never mind. I beat it in a clash. It doesn't matter anymore. But yeah, Canard is always easy. Would Reflection work with that Abno page? Yes, it does actually. I believe. I'll have to read them. The next fight is Crocker's office. which requires Howl and Blacklight Office. Grinding on D's nuts. Okay. Okay, lore. So Crocker's Office, they all have the same passive, which is Cold Steel, which is 25% chance to inflict 1 frost on hitting an enemy, once per target per scene. Frost is a new debuff for this mod, and we'll see what it does, obviously. At 5 stacks, Frost becomes Frostbite for 2 scenes. Frostbite reduces your speed by 3, and on rolling any dice, you take damage equal to half the unmodified dice roll. Crocker is a real name. So these guys have Insulation, which is just a guaranteed coin that can inflict the frost. They also have Inclement Weather, which just inflicts frost. Permafreeze, which is just a double block that can inflict frost. It has to lose a clash on the first die, but that generally won't happen. It's Bind plus Fairy. Yes, to an extent. There's other things that it does later on thanks to other passives. And then Hailstone, which is a 3-9 on hit inflict 2 with a 2-5 block attached to it. There are other ones, such as Scattering Snow, which has a 1-5 evade counter on it. Which is not something you would normally see in Canard. And then I think, yeah, Diamond has Diamond Dust, which is like an inverse thrust, or whatever it's called. Inverse wallop. This feels too balanced. I enjoy balancing video games. I love the counter dice in Canard. You know, the counter dice are good. It doesn't really make too much of a difference either. Hey, Shield Pen. Don't worry, you start seeing ranged pages in Urban Myth, so, you know. They're both just using Insulation, so I'll ignore them, I guess. And of course, the game is still kind of easy, because we're still in Canard, so... Okay. That's a stagger, probably. Unused pages in Canard. Now, that is not a thing. Excited when you're going to fight one of my Abnos. The Abno fights obviously aren't in the game yet, but yeah, I'm actually excited too, because I think most of the ones that you designed are pretty interesting as well. So if you use Jolted Awake, he'll get 1 endurance from it. That's a permafreeze. That's just an ultraviolet sweep. Very cool. Hello. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay. Okay, I have 1 frost now. Frost is a lot better for the AI than it is for the player, unfortunately. And that just means that it's not going to be as broken as well. Just Foreboding Crack. Doesn't really matter. Ooh, Diamond Dust. Yes, that is in fact a page he can use. Hello. He will not use it, though. That's a 9 on a 1-9. Nice. That's why Endurance is so good. There's a lot of combat pages that actually have more what I believe are more interesting effects than in base game. Obviously, your mileage may vary on that. I can't really beat this with anything, so I'm just gonna take the hit. A 1-2 summation is actually impossible to lose to, even in vanilla. Believe it or not. Okay. And there we go. That fight's not too... I actually ended up with 4 frost at the end of that. That's a bit much. The first Abnormality battle that Malkuth has is Beauty and the Beast. Now, all custom Abnormality battles in the mod have this skin to them because we don't have skins for them. So there's no, like, variation in their appearance. But their actual fights do work. I just don't have any skins to apply to them. Hey-o, Beetle. So, trapped in the Beast's castle. Upon taking a hit, enter a weakened state next scene. While in a weakened state, change physical resistances to weak and stagger damage resistances to ineffective. Also, upon taking a hit, the attacker takes 15 stagger damage and gains 1 fragile next scene. That's only in a weakened state. Yeah, anyone's more than willing to help work on like skins for people. The reason Crocker has that name is because it's reference to Crocker Island, which is an island that doesn't actually exist, but people thought it did for a long time. That's kind of why we wanted Hailstone, and of course we didn't draw it, so I'm just not going to hit him this scene. Also, reception icons. There are a few receptions that have custom icons, but one I got confused and lobotomy because I didn't know what to do. Only hit it once per scene. No, you actually... Ooh. I forgot he actually has an attack. Well, that's awkward. I don't know. Why did I bring Scattering Snow? There's no point in it. It's fine. Okay. I have apparently brought bad pages for this, because this is not working. There we go, I actually hit it. Almost staggered him. So now he's in a weakened state. So hitting him right now means that I take 15 stagger damage and gain fragile. I would also probably stagger him. But you don't want to hit him during this. If you wouldn't get staggered by it, you're okay to attack him here. What's the theme of the mod? It's got its own story to it, which I haven't entirely written out. But every floor has their own theme as well. Malkuth's is kind of similar to in vanilla, where you try to Cactus-Cuth everything. This should be the end of the fight, honestly. Yep. Because he's staggered now, so we can just hit him. Because I don't think weakened state applies while they're staggered. At least I really hope that it doesn't. Well, I killed him anyways, so it's okay. It does, in fact, apply while it's staggered. I should probably tell Startup to add that to the description. That unlocks more Abnormality pages for us, and I'll actually use Malkuth's floor since it's new. All of Beauty and the Beast's Abno pages are breakdowns, by the way. So we've got Cycle of the Curse. Single ally, you take 2 to 4 more damage from attacks, but every time you get hit, you gain 1 stack of Cycle of the Curse, which just means that you deal bonus damage and stagger damage with attacks equal to the amount of the stack up to 5. Which is actually pretty strong. Self-Loathing is probably the best of these 3. It's single ally, you raise the maximum value of offensive dice by 1 to 2 and take damage equal to the amount that you roll if you roll higher than your natural unmodified value. So like if the die is a 2 to 3 and you end up rolling a 5, you take damage, you take 2 damage. If you roll within the vanilla value, then it actually doesn't hurt you still. And then Addicted to Pain, which is single ally, and if you take a hit while you're staggered, you deal 2 to 7 stagger damage and inflict 2 fragile to the attacker. Which is not great, but that's the main theme of Malkuth's floor, is taking damage to do effects. Does that apply to having strength? No, it's the unmodified value. So if you roll like a 15 with 5 strength, but your natural max value is 8, you're only taking 2 damage from that. So lastly, we have the White Coat Snakes, which requires, I think, just the book of... Yeah, it's just the book of Crocker's office. Where do I find this mod? In my Discord server, Arctangent. Because that's the only place you can have it right now. These guys just have hook office pages, so you do get some vanilla pages from it as well. I'm not going to use them, obviously. But they have a 25% chance to inflict 1 bleed next scene on hitting an enemy, is their passive. And I think every single one of them just has this, even the named guys in the second act, so I don't have to go over it too much. They can rampage turn 1. Thank you, the Beats, for the follow. Appreciate it. Razor Strike more versatile. It's actually less versatile, but I get what you mean. And the good thing about having that counter die is I can ignore that guy. So I'm going to. Thanks for the free stagger resist. Yo, Starlight Rev, yeah. This is like a general revamp of the game. Yeah, it's a completely new storyline. I haven't finished writing it out, but I've got, like, all of Urban Myth and Legend story written out, and a lot of Urban Plague as well. I haven't done the Canard ones. So yeah, these guys aren't too tough. It would be awkward if they were. That guy's 4 Frost, okay. Yeah, most of the key pages don't have stories. Gonna have new colors? There are 2 colors in the game? What does Frost do? I have a feeling a lot of people are going to ask that today. But Frost, at the end of the scene, if this character has 5 or more stacks of Frost, become inflicted with Frostbite for 2 scenes, take stagger damage equal to the amount of Frost minus 5. So if you have additional Frost on top of the 5, then it does a bit of stagger damage to compensate. Frostbite is a mixture of Fairy and Bind, for the most part. That's a preemptive strike. I can just... I mean, I'm going to use Diamond Dust anyways on both of them. Why not? Oof. That was a 2 to 8. Yeah, no, Self-Loathing is basically just violence, but better. Honestly, it's about the same as violence. So now we have Eric, Megan, and Morgan, who are all basically the same. They each have a combat page that the other 2 don't get. Eric has Switchblade, which is gain 1 haste on use. It's a 2/4/1/6/2/5. It's not the Snow Queen status effect. The Snow Queen status effect was originally what we had there, but it's overpowered. Because it inflicts, like, feeble paralysis, it can immobilize you, and that's too much. So this is actually a really good combat page. Megan has Rundown Attack, which is a 4/6/2/4. It gains 1 haste. Yeah, it's just unholy powerful, and I didn't want to have it. And then Morgan has Hidden Knife, which is a 2/2 and a 4/5 with 1 haste. These all get 1 haste on their unique pages. And this has a guaranteed coin on it. Hidden Knife is solid if it didn't roll only 2 on the first die, unfortunately. Hey, Chaos, thank you for the 7 months. I appreciate it. And these guys shouldn't be too tough. Hasty boys. They're not really. They still have the same passive as before as well. There's a Hidden Knife and a Switchblade. Switchblade is actually dangerous because it hits a lot of times. We do need to get their key pages as well. There was a 3 to 10. Neato. Well done, Malkuth. Hello, Human, as well. Why the name? Because they're, like, snake-like and they wear white coats. I don't know. I guess we have to take Addicted to Pain and give it to you. Since it's literally my only option there. Okay, so the thing about Rundown Attack is that it's a Clash win effect instead of an on-hit effect. It's still painful, though. Just get rid of her. I missed the advertising. I pinged. Not one person here wears a white coat. Do you see Pierre's skin here? Thank you, the generic weeb, for the follow as well. Nice. Honestly, just not taking the damage from that is really nice. This is gonna hurt, though. Yeah. It's a chef uniform. It doesn't count. Why doesn't it count, Salam? You being offensive to chef? This is unfortunate because I can't Hailstone to block the attack. Oh well. Kill her so that she is dead. That's very unfortunate because I gave the stagger damage thing to the other person. I lost to these guys once. Don't you get you get 2 floors for it though, Gold? Okay, let me inflict Frostbite to Eric so that you people can actually see how debilitating it is. Because he will oh, he's just gonna get staggered. I won't kill him next scene, that way he has 1 scene for it. Never mind, it didn't actually deal this. He is staggered, but the UI didn't update. Okay. One other thing about the mod is that light restore and page draw is not quite as common as in vanilla until the late game, because it's very powerful. We're legit after the level of difficulty on release. Yeah, I was explaining that when I was fighting them. So Frostbite reduces their speed by 3, so in Canard they always roll a 1. And on rolling any dice, you take damage equal to half the dice value. Not as good if they get staggered, the scene that you inflict it, but, like, you'll see he's gonna take some damage from just rolling the die here. See, he just took 1 damage. Nice. He actually, he net didn't lose any HP because track heals you when you use it. Unfortunately. That's fine. I'm just gonna dodge that. Let's kill Eric. Sometimes worse than Fairy. Yeah, no, so at the end game, there's actually a page that rolls up to 90. Before anyone questions it, it's an ego and it costs 9. So, what was that anime? Oh, I died from bleed. I just got an achievement, Mutually Assured Destruction. I forgot. It's a 55 to 93. So, in case anyone was wondering if there's power creep, there definitely is, but, like, it's not unreasonable, because it does actually drain a quarter of your HP if you use it by itself as well, and you take, like, 30 damage if you use it with Frostbite. This is probably going to hit me, isn't it? Never mind. I keep thinking I'm using Deep Dragon will always min-roll. That 1-0 there. Yeah, the 20 to 40 that Goodbye rolls. But no, it's not as overpowered as it sounds, trust. And that's the last reception of Canard. What's its name? Meteor Drive. Does it stagger you after use? No, it drains 25% of your max HP.